Okay, folks, well, we got Max Wittek of USC says that USC is going to beat Notre Dame this weekend, this Saturday night. And I'm over here sitting at Panera Bread on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. And the way it looks is that I think Alabama and Oregon are going to play for the national title. Because this is the reason why. Because that Florida is going to lose this weekend to Florida State, and USC, I believe, is going to get knock off Notre Dame, and then on top of that, Georgia will lose to Alabama in the SEC title game. So therefore, there you have it. You have an Alabama and Oregon matchup. And I know somebody told me today that it's a very hard thing for that to happen. But if Max Wittek, who's acting like Joe Namath, if he comes through Saturday night against Notre Dame in the LA Coliseum, Notre Dame will end up in the Fiesta Bowl or the Sugar Bowl. They will be no close to the BCS title game whatsoever. So, and then if somehow, some way, this kid doesn't really, do what he says he's going to do, then Notre Dame should go to Miami and play Alabama. I don't see Alabama losing to Georgia. I know Georgia's got a great offense, a great defense, and they beat Florida 10-6, but I just don't see that happening. And we're not going to have an SEC title game, BCS title game like we had last year, because Florida almost lost to Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns. I can't believe they struggle with that team, which is a good team with Broadway and Peoples. They had Florida on the ropes. So I just don't see Florida advancing. And even if they did beat Florida State, I believe Oregon would jump Florida to go to the national title game. Now, there is a way for Oregon to be in the Pac-12 title championship game. Stanford would have to lose to UCLA, and then Oregon would go represent the North to face UCLA, basically. And then we already know what's going to happen there. I think that UCLA cannot compete with Oregon, especially with that offense, that high-profile offense that Oregon has. Jim Moore Jr. was asked a question today about USC and how many of their draft choices would go to the NFL. And he basically told them not to be mean or anything, but he said he doesn't give a rat's butt about USC. Incredible. He definitely really turned that program around. I know UCLA right now is 9-2. They have a chance to be 10-2 by beating Stanford this weekend, which is going to be really, I think, a tough game. It's going to be a big emotional game for them to get up. I think for Stanford, because after knocking USC off last week, but I think overall Moore has really brought a new level to UCLA, and the way they were running down the field after kickoff returns last week to get down the field, I mean, there's usually like 3 or 4 players running down to meet the kicker, kickoff returner. Well, UCLA, there's at least 7 or 8 players running down to meet the kickoff person for USC. That is incredible. I mean, the power, the excitement of that, and just the defense, just really, especially the special teams, acting like that on every kickoff, and they've kicked off the ball quite a bit to USC because they scored 38 points, and that's quite a bit, especially against a USC team that was #1 in the nation at the beginning of the season. Actually, they were #1 in AP. They always get favored by AP anyway. The AP loves USC. They're not really loving them that much now. But like I said, Max Wittek, the kid from Connecticut, who ended up at USC, 6'4", 245 pounds, loves to throw the ball down the field, and that's what they're going to be doing against Notre Dame, because Notre Dame's free safeties and cornerbacks kind of questionable. I wouldn't say a lot questionable, but kind of questionable. But they're going to be facing a very high-powered offense from USC, and really this is their bowl game. They'll be able to go to another bowl game, some bowl game, maybe the Gator Bowl, or who knows if they're going to accept the bowl whatsoever, if the Lane Kiffin's going to accept the bowl from any bowl committee. But really, for them to knock off Notre Dame would be their goal for sure. Well, it's been fun. This is Delaney's College Football. I do run another website called Daily College Football, so if you want to check out both of them, I'm over here at Panera Bread in Downers Grove, Illinois. And I really think that Oregon and Alabama are going to end up in the championship, unless Notre Dame, of course, knocks off USC this weekend and goes undefeated, and they'll see Alabama in the finals. But Paul Feinbaum basically said that he hopes that Notre Dame makes it to the BCS title game to Miami. He wants them to make it because he doesn't care if they play Alabama or Georgia. He feels like they're going to get beat. The odds makers basically picked any SEC team in the top 10 to be favored by at least 10 points over Notre Dame. So that would mean LSU, Texas A&M, Georgia, Florida, and Alabama to be favored by at least 10 points over Notre Dame in the BCS championship, if that was the case. We all know that the SEC is where a lot of great athletes come from, a lot of great football players come from, and it's pretty much the conference that where a lot of great athletes go, and they produce a lot of football down there. And I know the Pac-12 does too as well, which they produce a lot of offense. I would say the SEC produces a lot of defense, but they do produce a lot of great players all the way around players down there. I think in the Midwest, I don't really know a lot what they. I think they try to produce smart athletes, and also, they try to send athletes to really good schools. I know Northwestern is an up-and-coming program as well, and Nebraska is trying to hang on. And I tell you what, Urban Meyer being at Ohio State, watch out for the next couple of years when they get off probation. And I know Notre Dame, incredible story down there in South Bend. For them to be 11-0 right now, going into the LA area to face on the USC Trojans, and to be undefeated is incredible. Especially to have Gunnar Kyle sitting on the bench right now, waiting his turn to represent the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I look forward to going to the Blue and Gold game next year, and I really think that USC or Notre Dame can pull this off. I really think they do. If they don't pull it off, then it looks like there's going to be a big tumble. And it seems like if Notre Dame does lose to USC, it's not good to be #1. It seems like Alabama got knocked off, Kansas State got knocked off, now Notre Dame sitting on the top. If they get knocked off, it is not fun to be a #1. And I think there's going to be quite a few losses this weekend in the top 5. I got Georgia beating Georgia Tech, of course. I just don't think Florida's going to make it past Florida State. And as far as Notre Dame, we'll see what happens there. In Alabama, they're favored by 31 over Auburn. There's no worry there. I think Alabama's a shoe-in for the BCS title game. I don't think Georgia is going to give them any trouble whatsoever at the BCS title game, the SEC title game, and that Nick Saban will really have them ready to play, because there's just no stopping the Crimson Tide right now. They're playing that well. But I want to go ahead and sign off now, and hope that all y'all have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see what happens on Saturday. After Saturday night, we'll know who's going to be facing Alabama or Georgia in the SEC title game. A great Thanksgiving, and good night from Delaney's College Football.